If you're actually out there looking for a way to cook on the counter of your home, if you're just looking for 2 additional burners, if you're camping and you have electricity available at the same time, we're also going to do something kind of interesting here. We're going to run this on battery technology. This is the Empava 2-burner induction stovetop. The MPV IDC12 is the model number. This is what you can find it for, around 200 bucks. We're going to take a peek at the product, show you exactly how I'm going to have it set up, and then we're going to actually cook an egg. Bring it on in. Before we start into the cooktop itself, we're going to talk about pans real quick, because induction technology is different than conventional heating technology that you would have on most stovetops. We're not actually heating a coil and then just transferring heat into whatever pan, glass, aluminum, steel, doesn't matter. In this case, we're actually heating the pan with electrical energy. And so you have to have a pan that is capable or can accept that energy. And it has to have, essentially on the bottom of the pan, a ferrous metal inside the pan itself. Now you could have an aluminum pan, but the ferrous metal inside is what actually matters. This little magnet is the easiest way to tell. As long as she sticks to the pan, we know we're good with an induction cooktop. Quick and easy test that I wanted to go through real quick. Magnet test. Moving on, the induction cooktop itself. So this induction cooktop is a 2-burner cooktop. So there's a main burner here, and then we have controls down here. The neat thing about this cooktop is it can be used in 2 different ways. It's actually designed to be built in. So if we actually flip it onto the side, you can see that this rail is sticking out. There's actually a nice, I don't know how well you can see that, there's a nice foam pad right here. There are fans down here on the bottom, so you do have to have air movement on this guy, and that keeps the internal mechanisms cool. However, as you can see on and it did come with these, these feet that actually thread into the cooktop itself. And so I have this set for countertop mode and actually setting it on the countertop. And then the plug down here is a standard 15 amp or 120 plug. Right, there we are. That's what this one comes with. It is designed to be used with just standard electricity. So you're not going to get the super strength that you would get out of a 240 volt system. But in this case, it's a small burner, so you don't really need that. And it works really, really, really well, especially for just the 2 small burners we have. So this is more than an ample enough power to use this cooktop. Now, of course, it's not going to be maybe as fast as some of the more powerful models that do run on 240. You get the gist. Now, here is where things are going to get a little more interesting, because rather than just do a video on this, plug it into the wall and show you how it cooks, induction technology is fantastic. There are plenty of videos out there that tell you how awesome these cooktops are. Not only just these small 2 burners, but the ones for your full kitchen. I honestly cannot wait to put it in my own kitchen. Eventually I will, because I am an all-electric household as best I can be so far. And the only thing that's left is my furnace. That's coming. But that said, I have here an EcoFlow Delta battery. Now this is has a capability of, I think, 1200 watt output. We are gonna run this on this. I have not tested this yet, so we're gonna learn together. The neat thing about this battery is I'm not gonna be able to use this for, an all day thing on this battery, but I'm looking to cook an egg. One, I can show that if I'm going to camping and I wanna be able to cook a small meal or something on this, and all I have is battery power. But the second thing is, in all reality, this is gonna tell me all the information about how much power this is using in a fun way, rather than just using a kilowatt or, some kind of watt reader that's coming off the power line. This is more fun. And we're gonna try this cooktop out with this. I've used this. Okay, so I have it set up here so you can see the readout here of the actual battery itself, which I'm gonna try to make sure stays on. But that's gonna be the readout. We'll see the wattage here. I'm gonna turn on the power right now to the inverter on the backside. So this will have a slight amount of noise because it does have a fan built into it. Right now we're pulling 46 watts, if you can read that. And then we're gonna start by cooking an egg. Okay, so we're gonna get started here. I have my pan. I put a little bit of butter in the pan. Before I throw it on here, I'm just gonna prove a point. I'm gonna hit the power, and then I can select which burner. I'm gonna select the far burner, and I'm gonna put a level 5, which should be right down the middle. Do you hit the plus? It starts at level 5. Fan kicks on. It's not going to heat up if I don't put anything ferrous on it, but if I put the pan on, you can start hearing it. And then this is going to jump up to 820 watts is what we're currently pulling. And right now it's running at level 5. Doesn't seem to be having any issue yet. I got to get my spatula, and she's melting butter already. So, and the neat thing about this is that I don't have to heat up an actual coil, and then that coil heats up the pan. In this case, the pan is being heated directly by the induction technology. And so this will actually heat up a lot faster. Even though this is only a 110 outlet, this is gonna heat up faster than my stovetop does. And you can see the butter's already fully melted. That is crazy fast, So I'm gonna go ahead and crack the egg, put the egg on there. I Probably should have waited, but that's all right. This is we can choose however we want to make the egg, if we want to leave the yolk intact or whatever. We're still pulling 830 watts on this battery, which we are cooking this egg, and you can see it bubbling. I mean, it's amazing how fast this guy cooks. It's pretty awesome, and I'm only at level 5. I mean, I can crank it up or down. Let's see here. Maybe it's not. Maybe it locked in at that level. I'm gonna keep it right there for now. Now this pan is a little bit older. It tends to stick a little bit. That's why we tend to use butter with this pan. We're still at 850 watts, 153. Okay, select the burner and bring it down to level 4. That brings it down to 500. Wow, that's quite a bit of difference. 680, 70. Let's bring it down to level 3. Okay, so when it goes solid, you have to select the burner and then choose the level. And I'm gonna actually flip this over. If I can get it with the spatula, geez. All right, I'm messing it up. And this is at level 3 now. Level 3, 470 watts. And to be honest, level 3, level 4 probably is gonna be more than enough for this kind of. And the other beautiful thing about induction is, if I was to splatter a whole bunch of stuff on the cooktop, I don't have to worry about too much, because when I pull this off, I can easily clean that cooktop quick. And so if you want yours over easy, over hard, I'm not a chef, and I'm not here to teach you how to cook your egg, but just to prove a point on how well it looks. There you go. So that is the cooking, and you could actually see when I pulled this pan off, it actually stopped. We're down to 60 watts because of that. And then when I put the pan back on, it ramps back up. You can see that automatic capability of the extra one. And when I pull the pan off, it actually does an E1 code saying that there's nothing there. And then when I put it back on, that E1 goes away, and it ramps back up. I'm gonna go ahead and kick this off because I'm not gonna fry this to the point where it starts burning. But I can then take it off. I mean, it's not gonna be super hot here. Most of the heat is in the pan. My egg is cooked, and actually I just sat down after I moved some things out of the way. The fan on this ran for an extra minute, I would call it, after I got done cooking with it. And so that's one thing that I will say, if you're gonna do what I did and run it off a battery, make sure you run this battery juice at least until the fans are done cooling the electronics inside this before you kill power to it. And in this case, that test went really well. I'm at 97% battery. So I cooked an egg. If I was to cook a breakfast with it, you know, maybe 20-30% of the battery juice of this specific one. This is the original EcoFull Delta, not the Delta 2. There's a real quick way to use a neat technology wherever and however you want to use it. And that's really what I wanted to show. This video is kind of a two-piece video. One, showing the technology and the really cool features that this 2-burner stove has that capability of, plus the fact that I can actually do it off a battery. That's what I really like about it. Now, in camping, we've been actually switching a lot of our stuff over to electrical rather than gas use as well. I don't have a whole lot of things that use propane anymore when I camp. I actually have a pellet grill that I actually use this battery to run off of. And that's kind of where this comes into the fact that I can use this camping and power it as need be off a battery or off the electricity at the campground. This thing is exactly what I'm looking for. Now, this was not designed as a way to promote using a battery with it, but I really wanted to showcase two things. The burner itself, and of course, that it can actually run on a battery. Because it's only a 120 volt connection with it. This, I just got done cooking maybe 3 minutes ago. I mean, it's still warm. I wouldn't want to leave my hand there, but I can do that because there's no burner in here that's cooling down. The only heat residue that's on the top of this is the heat residue that was coming off the pan onto the cooktop. And that's the beautiful thing about induction. If there's anything about it that you should take home from today, is induction is awesome. Induction is the electrical equivalent of gas. It's on, it's off. Just like a gas burner, if you turn the gas off and you take the food off and you were to put your hand on the gas burner, it's gonna be hot, but it's not hot because it's, you know, a big heat piece of electrical cooling down. It's because the flames were shooting past the prongs and all that stuff. That's why it's hot. It was just an offset of what it is. In this case with induction, it's actually heating the pan itself. And that's why it's required to have that ferrous metal in there, just because of the magnetic technology that heats that pan up. Induction is awesome. Induction is where everything's going, in my opinion, and it has been for a while now. It's just really coming to market at a much lower price point. So this 2-burner set, like I said, $210, but that's the Empava 2-burner induction cooktop. I love this thing. I really do. And I really, really, really want to do a 5-burner one to replace my stove. That is a future hope and dream of mine. If you have any questions, comment below, like, comment, share, subscribe as always, and let me know what you think. Thanks again for watching to the end. I'm gonna go upstairs and enjoy my egg, and we'll catch you back here on techgooch for another future video review. And I guess in this case, demonstration. We'll see you soon.